look who's back at it, causing all that static. It's the one and only Fanatic. What's causing all this? Good question. It's the old Fanatic. I don't know if you can read that, but it's not easy being awesome. You just make it look that way. Well, truer words were never spoken. But right now, the Fanatic's in the hole, buddy. I'm doing terrible. My MLB is off the hook. Losing one out of 4. I'm trying to wait to do a 2-team $20 parlay and get the bankroll started, but haven't seen a good matchup. No action today, so it is what it is. May 29th? No, 28th. 29th. Yeah, May 29th. June, right around the corner. No stopping it now. Dads and grads. You know the deal. Leave your bunting, your red, white, and blue flag bunting out for the rest of the year till Labor Day. Leave your Uncle Sam's up. Leave your Eagles up. Leave your flags up. Put them at half mast. They're at half mast for a reason today, but if you can, half mast. If not, America the Beautiful, huh? Yeah, I got the Vipers on again. Yeah, I know the losers. Whatever. I picked them. I backed them. They moved, and I chose the Orlando Guardians because I like the New York Guardians. Again, I tried to like a New York team, and they finagled on me. Rumblings in the UFL. They're talking mighty big. I don't see anybody at the games except for St. Louis and Michigan, to tell you the truth. There was a St. Louis and Michigan, and there was decent crowds at DC, but the other 5 teams are 5, 4, yeah, 5. 5 and 3 is 8. Come on, Fanatic. You ain't that dumb. No, the 5 are struggling. I mean, the Birmingham Stallions are the 3-time Spring League champions. 6,000, 8,000. The Birmingham, Alabama loves football. The Crimson Tide haven't been good for a couple years. You think and the tickets are not expensive. I don't know what you want. I wish I could find a UFL fan, die hard like me. But even I didn't even watch one. I watched like 2 series this weekend because the playoffs are set. Other things came up. You know the deal. Memorial Day weekend, but watched like 2 series up and down. And this week's nothing. Nobody's gonna show their hand. I might look at the. If nothing else is going on, look at the Arlington game to see Louis Perez, the King of Spring, see if he can break some record or do something accomplishment. And he says he doesn't want to quit. I mean, if the NFL doesn't give you a shot now, even as a backup, but I guess his wife makes a little bit of scratch. He doesn't want to give up the dream. Good for her standing by her man. It's hard to find someone like that. So if you find someone, overlook her flaws like she overlooking yours because you all got them. Both of you got them. I mean, except for me, you got flaws. I mean, if you want to be honest, I got flaws. If you don't, I'm thin, whatever, bald, if you want to call me whatever. has some dental problems right now, but I'm gonna get that taken care of. But if that's how you're gonna judge somebody, then yeah, I got flaws. But other than that, right there with you, right there behind you, 100% loyal to a fault. The shirt. I really, really, for some weird reason, I really enjoy, not enjoy, but want to watch, interested in watching all this Bin Laden, American Manhunt, Bin Laden, Osama Bin Laden. I watched Zero Dark 30 and all those United 93. This is something. I mean, maybe because I worked at the World Trade Center and my ex-wife got caught up in that. She was going to a meeting that, she never, hardly ever left Franklin Lakes. And then for that day, God will, thank God, God willing, God, thank God, she, got displaced for a couple days, but she doesn't happen to her. I mean, maybe psychologically, probably something happened to her, but, you know, someone like the Fanatic, it didn't really affect me. Maybe it should have affected me a little more, but that's who I am. Um, it affected me where I lost my livelihood for a month, but I was able to collect because it was a tragedy. And to be honest with you, my days with the company were numbered. I was a level one tech, and um, the site manager with the most workers that needed the most help didn't like me. I don't know if the boss or the manager of the company didn't like me for some reason. I mean, my brother-in-law left, but they were supposedly still friends, so I don't know. I didn't mind the job. I didn't mind getting up in the air in the ducts and pulling cable and tying it down. But I didn't learn anything technical. But I mean, I gave it when I had a job to do. I gave it my all, especially when I was with my brother-in-law. Me and him did a job in a overnight job in Hackensack, or 2 night job. And I did my best of my ability. Even when he wasn't there, I did. When somebody told me to lay out the cables, I gave him an honest effort. Maybe it wasn't for me. Maybe somebody should have took me under their wing. Like I said, he left the company, and he's like, "Oh, stick it out. I ain't got no pull. Maybe you could come down in a couple months." And I don't know. He was, I don't know. He's a site man, regional site manager, whatever. So he wasn't going to stay in one site. So, I mean, he gave me the job. I appreciate it. Got me some money. Showed me something different than maintenance, custodial work. And like I said, I gave 100%. It didn't work out. I wish I would have got more hands on. But once the level twos get a system, they don't want to show nobody because they don't want to be either. Oh well, you're making more. We're gonna bump you, or we don't like you. We're gonna bump you. This guy can do your job. I sensed a little of that. Again, I met some cool people. I met some characters too. A couple of them are dead. I mean, it's a tough job. I mean, it was a good paying job, and then the per diem got cut. Some of the guys were, some of the lead guys were assholes, but I mean, there was a couple of them that were cool. A couple of them say, "Hey, I'm gonna take care. You just do what I tell you. Shadow this guy. I know Big Dave. You'll be all right." And but then when that season section of a job was over like 6 weeks, I really can't keep you. I mean, I got to get rid of you in another level one. I'd like to keep you. You're a nice guy. This rigmarole. But some of them were cool. Some of them were jerks. Some were, "Oh, why didn't he take you with you?" Well, he only is there for 2 months, and now you're in charge of the biggest site in New York. That's why he didn't take me, because he just knew himself, and I'm a level one. So don't be like, well, why didn't he take you? Why did he leave you here with me? Put me with somebody and I'll work. But you know how it is. You're not gonna like everybody. I mean, you figure the Fanatic. Who wouldn't like the Fanatic? But that's water under the bridge. It was a good experience. Like I said, I had a lot of laughs. I met a lot of crazy people, and I met a couple of scumbags. But that's the way it goes. I met a real scumbag that he kind of finagled the whole deal with the West Street and Old Eddie and Uncle Dave. They got in a little hot water, and Dave flew the coop. And Uncle Eddie, I don't know if he stuck it out. I think he did. I think he stuck it out, but they moved him. And then he was older anyway. I think he retired. His nephew or his whatever, his son, quote unquote, son in law, he was an asshole. But the rest of them were, hit or miss. We had we had a lot of laughs. I'll tell you that. There was a bunch of characters. Like I said, a couple of them are dead. A couple of them were. Enough about that. You don't want to hear about my pain. You don't want to laugh at you. I mean, you probably laugh at my pain. You don't want to hear about my rigmarole, my sob story. Like I said, I've been enjoying those Bin Ladens. I like that Manhunt on Netflix, American Manhunt. It was interesting. There's a couple things I didn't know. I mean, and a couple things about like Obama. Obama took a big chance. I mean, I didn't like him, but certain things he did, I mean, you got to tip your hat to the guy. I didn't vote for him. I didn't want him. I mean, I know all the yuppies and all, he's somebody new. He's not, he's a minority. And he's talked a good game. But I mean, you're not going to like everybody. Now, I didn't really like him, and now I don't, he did a couple good things, and he impressed me in that series of things that the people said he did. The CIA really took it up to what. They're like, how'd you let him escape? Because there was one time when it could have been long, or he could have caught him or captured him or killed him a long time ago. And they're like, hem and horn, he got slipped away. That's interesting. If you're interested in that, or you just, whatever, American Manhunt, Osama bin Laden, Netflix. There's a free one from the Fanatic. Knicks, tonight might be the night. If I was betting on the game, I'd take Indiana, take the 4 just in case the Knicks get a 2-win or 2-point win at the end, buzzer beater. Just in case. Or take the Pacers on the money line. Have a set of nuts. That's your prerogative. The hockey, I think it's over. I think Edmonton's going to put Dallas out of their misery. I mean, I picked Edmonton. I'm not an Edmonton Oilers fan. Don't mistake that. And the Oilers are one of my worst teams. But I said when they were down 0-2 and then swept the Kings in 4-2. Then they beat the other team in 4 straight. And now they only lost 1 game to the Dallas, who's a good team. Edmonton, this might be their year. I forgot if they do win tonight, or they win the series, it's gonna be a rematch. I don't like that. And again, I don't like Edmonton. And Florida's cool. The Panthers are a cool team, but I picked Edmonton. I expected Edmonton. So there you have it. I would pick Edmonton tonight. Money line. It don't puck line. You never know. It might be a 1-point game, 1-goal game. I'd say over and money line for the Oilers. Now I'm gonna break you down. Except, I don't know if you can see that with the glare. Except Metal Heart, 1985. My favorite Accept album. I know a lot of people are going to say Balls to the Wall. That's the one that broke them through in America. And you'd be right. And I do like that album too. Maybe it's more played out. Or maybe I just like the songs because I'm I'm a more melodic person. I like, crunchy guitars, but not all the way through. And Winter Dreams is mellow for balls to the wall, but I just like this album better. This is my favorite Accept album. The classic kickoff with Metal Heart, the title track. What an epic way to start. And then the classical solo in there from Wolf Hoffman. Midnight Mover, annoying video. I did that song with Fallen Angel, good track. Up to the Limit, probably one of my favorites. Um, Wrong is Right, another fast one. That's kind of like TV War. Fast as a Shark, not as fast, but Wrong is Right's a good song. Screaming for a Love Bite, a commercial sounding, Dokken-ish. Some people even said a little reminiscent of Van Halen. Screaming for Love Bite, another one I really enjoy. Um, Too High to Get It Right, another bang out, crashing. Fist to Your Face metal track with a little Udo Dirk Schneider, the lead singer, going real low on one part, really creepy. Good song. Dogs on Leads, another one I really like, a little different beat, different tempo. Dogs on Leads, really good song. Bound to Fail, probably my least favorite on here. Teach Us to Survive is, men's amends. It's not bad. But Metal Heart. The Metal Heart on this album, on the inner sleeve, they tell you exactly what they did. Because Wolf Hoffman might be an asshole as a person. Because all other original members, they have something to say. And other musicians, like, oh, Wolf Hoffman's tough to deal with. But a lot of those guys are. Eddie Van Halen was no cupcake. He didn't like Michael Anthony. He didn't like Dave. He didn't like Sammy. He didn't like Gary Sharon. He didn't like this guy. He didn't like Eric Clapton. He didn't like this guy. So, I mean, he's a great guitarist, but he was nasty to Valerie and nasty to everybody on the road, according to Hagar, nasty to Templeman. So he was a nasty drunk and, just a introverted person. And I don't even know, maybe he didn't even like his brother. I mean, he probably did. It seemed like those two were. But he's a great guitarist, one of the best. Wolf Hoffman's not one of the best, but very good, classical influences, good guitarist, no doubt about it. Like I said, probably an asshole as a person. Udo Dirk Schneider, the vocalist, again, he's not everybody's cup of tea. I enjoy him. Maybe you don't. Maybe you never heard him. Metal Heart, pick that one up or stream it. Georg Fincher was the rhythm guitarist who does two leads. It tells you what leads he does. He's pretty good. I mean, he was in the band for 4 years, 5 years, 2 albums and 2 tours. So, Peter Baltes, an original member on bass and backing vocals, and he sang a couple songs earlier on. Pretty good singer. I mean, not, nothing to write home about, but good backups, good bass player too. Stefan Kaufman, one of my favorite drummers, and an old running mate of the Fanatics, RT, a drummer in his own right, used to drum Accept albums with headphones and Saxon albums. He loved Stefan Kaufman. He said Stefan Kaufman's style, and he didn't put all those kind of fills like Neil Peart, whatever you want to call him from Rush. He liked this guy better. He said this guy could do the Rush stuff, but he did what fit the music. Stefan Kaufman, good drummer. And then he became a guitar player. So multi-talented musician with with Udo's solo band, and wrote songs. Very, very, very um, got influential guy to have, and um, contributing guy to have in your band or in your circle. So he was one of my favorite drummers, and like what I said with RT, he's like, I know everybody says Neil Peart's the best, Neil Peart, and he puts a lot of fills, and I mean he's good, he's great, there's no doubt about it. But there's not can't be anybody that's not close to him. Like the guy from Dream Theater, this guy does what fits the music. He said this guy, this top, could probably do the Rush stuff. We'll never know because he don't even play drums because of back and neck injuries. He's I don't know what he's probably. I think he wrote songs for the last Udio touchdown album. Well, that's it. Udio, except if you haven't heard him, I don't know what you're waiting for. If you don't like him, that's your prerogative. If you do like him, there's a long list of albums. They're miles wide. There's millions of them. And then even if you except with Mark Tornello and David Reese and Udio Solo, Udo Dirkshire and the Old Gang, there's a lot of albums, a lot of music to digest or get into. So if you like it, start off with Metal Heart and keep going. That's what the Fanatic would do if I were you. Well, you know what? Like I said, UFL nothing this weekend. Maybe me and the missus will head on to the movie theater and see the Thunderbolts before it's out of the theater. We'll see. I mean, I wanted to go to Meadowlands Marketplace Flea Market because there's no concerts for once at the MetLife, but it's supposed to rain, so who knows? Well, maybe the Thunderbolts. If we do check it out, you'll be the second to know. So, the Fanatic, waiting for the weekend. Everybody's working for the weekend. Everybody's working paycheck to paycheck. Well, all us unlucky people. But then again, somebody asked me one time, would I rather be rich or good looking? I said, you know what? I'd rather be rich because if I'm rich, I can buy somebody. But you know what? It is what it is. You are what you are. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. And please always remember and never forget, opinions, they're like, except for this guy's. Everybody's got one. Fanatic, enjoy your weekend. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Peace.